and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. The Future Focus Foundation is the education foundation of Virginia's Region 2000 Technology Council. Their purpose is preparing students for Sci-Tech careers in Virginia's Region 2000. My guest tonight is Elizabeth Narehood, Director of Future Focus. Elizabeth, welcome to Lynchburg Live.
Thank you, and thank you, Linda, so much for having me this evening.
You know, when you came and talked to our science fiction group, I thought, oh, this is just so interesting. I'd love to have you on the show. So I'm glad that you could come.
I really appreciate it, and I think there's nothing better than bringing robots to a science fiction club.
Exactly.
So I was glad to come and share some excitement that night.
And you know, our people enjoyed you so much. So as we get started on this show, could you tell us what the vision of the Future Focus Foundation is?
Sure. The Future Focus Foundation was created by the Technology Council in 2009. And the focus of the foundation is on developing interest in careers in K through 12 STEM, because what we want to create is a scientific and technically proficient workforce within the region. So we serve the entire region.
I think that's cool. All right, now you mentioned STEM. So for those people who are watching and don't know what STEM stands for, will you tell us?
Yes, absolutely. STEMS is an acronym that was created in the 1990s, and it stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And a lot of people think that that means more science or more math, and really what it means is it's a seamless blending of the subject areas that focuses on problem solving and critical thinking skills for our students. So true STEM is really a way of thinking, and it's a way of trying to solve real-world problems.
All right, now, what is Virginia's Region 2000, and how is that involved with the Future Focus Foundation?
That's a great question.
There's so many things that all blend in together with this.
That's right. So Virginia's Region 2000 is an organization that serves Lynchburg City and the surrounding 2,000 square miles. That's where the name Region 2000 originated with. So we serve Lynchburg City and the counties of Amherst, Appomattox, Bedford, and Campbell. The Future Focus Foundation is a part of the Virginia's Region 2000 partnership. So it is one of the partner entities.
Now, this may be a stupid question because I get lost a little bit, but what is Virginia's, all right, the Virginia 2000 partnership?
Yes.
What is that?
Okay, so the Region 2000 partnership it's an interwoven network of organizations. So our goal is to provide regional development leadership within those 2,000 square miles. So we want to serve as a single point of contact for public and private sector for regional planning services, marketing, economic development, and workforce training.
And the Region 2000 Technology Council.
Yes, so the Technology Council is part of, under the partnership, it's actually part of the Region 2000 Business and Economic Development Alliance, which I am an Alliance employee. And that is something exciting that I wanted to share with you this evening was we did some restructuring within the partnership this year, and the Alliance was created in January. And it was created to be an enhanced relationship between our Technology Council, our young professionals, and the Future Focus Foundation. So we're really excited about the Alliance, and we think that you know, a lot of our companies that are part of the partnership are trying to reinvent themselves and streamline and things like that. And so it's really important for us as an organization to always step back and to do those same things that ourselves. So
all these agencies, how do they actually view the importance of the STEM education?
Well, they are very invested in it. Region 2000 is home to a lot of Sci-Tech industries. We have a wonderful nuclear industries, wireless, advanced manufacturing. So what we were hearing from a lot of our industries was that they were struggling in finding a technically skilled workforce. So that was one of the reasons for the creation of my position. I was hired in 2011.
And you are the
And I am
director.
the director of the Future Focus Foundation, and I serve the Alliance. I'm an Alliance employee. But they are very invested in this. We did a comprehensive economic development strategy in 2011, and one of the key things that was listed was developing a workforce for a 21st century innovation economy. So STEM is a critical component of that.
You know, I think people don't realize that science, technology, engineering, math, that's the basis of what we need for the future if we're going to continue to grow and excel and, you know, as you hope that your community will.
Right.
All right, your job as director, I know you wear many hats. Would you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure, I do. I wear many hats. I do a lot with creating the funds that we run a lot of our programs with the foundation, so I do a lot of grant writing. I do fundraising, accepting donations. I'm responsible for the communications, doing the website and things like that. But one of the most important jobs that I have is I get to interact, and one of the most fun jobs that I have, is I get to interact with all of the public and private schools. I try to get involved with as many as I can in the region, K through 12, as well as higher education. Because serving as a regional entity, it gives me a real opportunity to get to interact with all these different schools.
Do you know how or when or who laid the groundwork originally for all of this?
Yes, this was an initiative of the Region 2000 Technology Council. So they created the foundation as a nonprofit in 2009. And the reason that they created it was because they're a private industry council. They have about 18 board members, and those industries were sharing, like I said earlier, that they were struggling to find skilled workers, and they saw this as a problem that was going to continue to get worse.
I saw your statistics. You know, so many people in one area are needed, but we don't have those people. These jobs are available, but we don't have the technology in the workers to fill these positions, and that's so sad.
Yes, it is. It is. It's very sad for our unemployment rate to continue to be, you know, Lynchburg is better than the state or the national average, but still, you know, it is a shame to see any jobs go unfilled in our area.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how is this funded? The Future Focus, how is it funded?
So we receive funding from a variety of sources. The Region 2000 Workforce Investment Board also identified STEM as within their strategic planning as an initiative. So we receive some funds from them. We also receive funds from corporate and individual donors, as well as grants. Mm-hmm.
All right, the STEM education, how does it actually work within the local school systems?
Well, a lot of the schools, first of all, I did want to share that we are so lucky. We have some of the most wonderful superintendents in the region, both public and private. They're very creative, innovative folks. So they're trying all different kinds of things with STEM. Some of them are updating their curriculum to focus more on critical thinking and problem solving skills. Some of them are looking at integrating technology more into the classroom to try different learning styles on our students. And some of them are also incorporating some new courses that will help with our STEM areas.
You know, I just didn't know how that was integrated into the school systems, but I think that's really great.
Right, yeah, and one of the things that I did want to highlight is it was a huge project of ours that we are still working on now. We created the Accelerate Lynchburg Regional STEM Academy, and that was a regional project of all 5 public school divisions, Central Virginia Community College, the Region 2000 Technology Council, Region 2000 Workforce Investment Board, and the Future Focus Foundation. It's a real collaborative project. It's the first of its kind in Virginia to serve all of those entities, and we have students that are participating in a pathway to engineering, and they're provided the opportunity for courses that they wouldn't be able to take in their home schools.
That's great.
So they can take some really interesting creative courses in computer integrated manufacturing and biotechnical engineering.
How do you pick the kids that are in these programs, like the ones you just mentioned?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. So some of the programs do have a selection process. Some of the programs, it's really up to the schools, if the school is the entity. But then a lot of our club programs, such as the robotics programs, regional, that we'll get into, a lot of those, I have community groups, I have 4-H clubs, scouts, you know, a variety of community organizations are involved, and sometimes it just takes a couple of excited adult volunteers that are willing to be trained and some interested students to really get involved with these activities. Others, there are some selection processes for them.
So it's really a network that reaches out into a variety of areas. You mentioned the Scouts, and I think that you're getting to kids in a lot of different places, and that's really important, I think.
It is absolutely important, and that's one thing that with being regional, we serve everyone. That's why we reach out to the public and private schools. Our programs are open to everyone, available to everyone, and we want to include as many students as possible.
It sounds like a lot of people and individuals are interested and very serious about doing this. And that you need that. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. We have over 200 volunteers last year that helped with our STEM programs, and we involved over 700 students.
All right,
So.
How is the Future Focus Foundation a source for information and resources for STEM education and career opportunities?
Well, we can serve, because I am a regional organization, we can serve as a wonderful starting point. So if you're interested in getting involved with some STEM activities, if I don't have the answer, usually I'm connected with another organization or education institution that I can get you in contact with and get you pointed in the right direction. So I think we're a great starting point in getting involved with kind of the STEM efforts in the region.
All right, I'm really interested in some of these programs that you have available for the students. So let's start off talking about the Junior First Lego League, because I think that's interesting.
It is, yes. So that is part of our robotics continuum, and it starts, that's our youngest age. It starts at age 6 and goes through age 8. And it's open, you need a minimum of 2 members and 2 adult volunteers that are willing to be trained. And we have a variety of programs that are interested in that with schools and 4-H clubs. Our season begins in January and it finishes with an expo in April. And at the expo, the teams come and will actually present a project and display, and I actually have a lot of professional engineers and professional IT folks come in and judge the project so that the students actually get to interact with professionals in the fields. Last year we had about 200 students participate in Junior First.
Okay, so tell us about the 5th Annual Region 2000 Junior First Lego League Expo.
Okay. So
and when was that?
That was held at the end of April this past year. It's usually held on a Saturday. It's a half-day event. And we had over 200 participants.
Great.
They presented their projects. And if they're not presenting a project, usually we have hands-on activity stations, and we actually partner with a lot of other local organizations and universities. Randolph College, we had Campbell County Parks and Rec, and we had the STEM Academy students were there, and they provided some hands-on opportunities for our students when they weren't presenting their projects to the judges.
Why was robotics chosen as a means of teaching? I mean, I think it's an excellent choice.
Sure. Well, the robots are the hook. So robots are interesting, exciting, and they engage the students. So they are the hook. I want to learn how to program a robot is a cool thing to do. But it's not just the technical skill sets that they learn when they're involved with these programs. So a lot of the students, our programs are centered around soft skill development. So they're going to learn things like teamwork, leadership, communication skills, things that are really, really important to being successful in their careers and their future. And we want to start them at age 6 with learning those things. And by integrating robots, we kind of pull them in and give them something neat to work with and to help enhance that skill set within themselves.
Even adults are sort of hooked by robotics, because when you came and talked to our meeting, we had a big turnout because everybody wanted to know about robots, which is cool.
Yes.
All right, the first Lego League. Who's involved with that? And tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. First Lego League is our next level up in the robotics continuum. It starts at age 9 and goes through 14. And those students do actually program a robot. Their robot will navigate a thematic playing surface that changes each year. There's a new challenge that FLL releases each year. We are just beginning our first Lego League season right now, and teams are getting formed right now. Our tournament event is going to be November the 14th. It's going to be hosted at Sandusky Middle School, so
Wonderful.
Thank you to Lynchburg City Schools for hosting us. And there, the students will be judged on things like the robot game, the design, the core values, which is their ability to work as a team, because we want our students to be very well-rounded. They can't just excel in one area
Right.
to move on. They have to be well-rounded, and that's how that they can move on to the state level event, which happens towards the end of the year.
All right, the thing that's taking place at Sandusky, that's just entirely robotics?
Yes, that is all robots.
Is it open to the public? They can come
It
and
is
see
open to the public.
Tell them, if you tell our audience if you know the date and time, and
Sure,
so that
absolutely.
people can come out.
So the Lynchburg Regional First Lego League tournament is going to be held November 15th, and it will be at Sandusky Middle School. Usually we get started around 9 or 10 o'clock is probably good for the public if you want to visit us, and we finish right around 4 o'clock.
That's
So
wonderful.
feel free to come out and join us and visit us.
All right, the next step is the VEX robotics.
Yes, that's VEX Robotics. That is the highest level in our robotics continuum. So that is ages 14 to 19. It's high school level. The robots themselves are a little more complicated. They're metal. The fabrication's more complicated. The field that they navigate is much larger field than the FLL was. And they also have a challenge that changes from one year to the next. So that season will probably begin late fall for us, and we have a competition planned for the end of January for VEX. And Liberty University's Engineering and Computational Science Department is a huge partner of that. They're wonderful in providing volunteers and helping to coordinate the tournament.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, you brought some pictures, and Phil, if you'll put the pictures up on the monitor, we'll get Elizabeth to tell us what they are.
Oh, so this first picture is promoting our upcoming FLL this November 15th. And also, I will point out on the slide is the Future Focus Foundation website. So make sure to check that out if you're interested in anything that we discussed today.
That's cool. Next picture, Phil. There you go.
So this is a photo, this is at our first LEGO League, and this is some excited students that are playing the robot game. So you can see there's different missions listed there on the table, and then their robot navigates and tries to complete different missions, and they get points for completing the missions.
So these are small robots that they've actually built?
Yes, and it's all computer programmed. They're
Wonderful.
not remote controlled, they're actually computer programmed to do these things. So this is, I joke with my professional engineers and I'm like, did you ever have this face when you're at work? Hopefully not. So some excitement of one of our students hoping their robot's going to perform the mission correctly. This is the logo of the Future Focus Foundation. So we spent a lot of time developing that logo a couple years ago. So this lists our mission, so you can read our mission to prepare and encourage students in K through 12 to seek careers in STEM fields and provide a pipeline for a technically and scientifically proficient workforce in the region. So this is some of our hands-on centers at our Junior First event. This is Randolph College's table, and they brought
Wonderful.
all kinds of neat electricity type devices where the students could actually try to generate electricity on their own. This is also at our Junior First event. So here are two judges that are asking the students some questions, and they're presenting their project to the judges.
So this is kind of like a science fair.
It is.
It is.
It is kind of similar to a science fair. You're right. And that's our logo for Junior First LEGO League. Here you can see one of the Junior First LEGO League projects. So as you can see, the project, these are not simple Lego projects.
No, they don't look like Legos.
No, and they're completely constructed out of the minds of the students. So it's pretty amazing what some of these students can develop. And each one's developed on a theme, so this one was based on natural disasters.
So this encourages a lot of things, including thinking and expanding your thoughts.
Yes.
To produce what they are able to produce.
Mm-hmm. So this is a great story of one of our students that went on to use his robotics. He started at our robotics continuum when he was young, and he actually went on and did a robotic Eagle Scout project in the region. And we think he may be the first in the country to do his own Eagle Scout project focused on robotics. So,
and he's from
very
here,
excited.
From our area.
From our area. So this was just an interesting slide that sometimes I'll bring up at some presentations, and it's just the fact that STEM is really a community movement. It's a community initiative, and it takes the involvement of all sectors, industry, government, family, education, to come together to really be a part of this. And you can see that through the way a lot of our programs are put together. So through that, hopefully our community can experience some economic growth with helping for our students to get interested in these careers.
I think it's wonderful.
Because there's wonderful jobs right here in Region 2000 for our students to get engaged in.
That's wonderful.
This is actually at the Accelerate STEM Academy. They just started accepting students this week. And here they're working with their professor in building a model. And here's another photo of our STEM Academy students. So this is outside the Arriva Technical Center, which is at CVCC. And the STEM Academy is on the second floor of that building. This was at our Junior First event. Some of the STEM Academy students came, and
those are the Legos I'm used to.
Yes, yeah, there you go. And they were very creative. You could tell these are engineering students, and developed a little STEM logo there. And there's our, that's the logo for our VEX Robotics competition. This is the VEX Robotics field. So you got to see a VEX robot that I brought to you that evening. So you can see that the robots are much larger, the field is much larger. These ones do have a computer program portion, but they're also driver remote controlled as well. And the field changes from one year to the next with what the robots have to move around to try to score points.
Are there similar programs other places, or is this just Lynchburg area, Region 2000 based?
Sure. I get a lot of questions about the foundation. About where, are there any other foundations? And as far as the foundation itself, I know the Northern Virginia Technology Council does have a similar foundation, but other than that, I don't know of any others. The programs themselves, Junior First, Lego League First, and a lot of those are international programs, so they are available in a lot of other communities. So I encourage, if it's outside of this area, to look for that type of program in another community.
I know this is hard to believe, but we only have 3 more minutes.
Okay.
So I want to ask you, how do you feel personally? How does this personally affect you working with this?
Well, the thing that I have found working in a region and being a part of this community is where we're doing it right in Region 2000 is this sense of community. So really, we are very collaborative. Everybody is very engaged and excited to work together on things. And I just see it over and over again with some of the events that I work with and the volunteers that come out and give their time to help to support these programs, that really that sense of community is a wonderful thing, and that's truly, I think, how we can move forward. And that's where I get excited about my work, is pulling together the community and trying to get our students involved and excited about some really wonderful careers that they could get involved with. And the neat thing too is a lot of these students, as you can see with our student that was the Eagle Scout project, they go on and they see this community support, and then they come back and they do the same thing and give back themselves.
That has to be so rewarding. Elizabeth, I hate we're running out of time, but I thank you so much for coming and telling us about Future Focus. There's so much more we could talk about, but I thank you for sort of hitting the high spots for us tonight, and thank you for being my guest.
Thank you, Linda, very much.
I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. My next show will feature the middle school student that Heimdall Science Fiction sent to NASA's space camp this summer. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.